You know, they love each other dearly, and there's a world in which they could have be a great couple, and maybe ultimately you're able to get to that place. But right now, politics are very much in the way, and I think, like, the way I think about it is, in my life, with not relationship, like a romantic relationship so much, but with friends and loved ones, there's a lot of political activity that people feel very strongly about in various different ways, and it's very, very hard to maintain your cool and connect and respect each other when there's such a divisive kind of situation going on. There are many divisive situations going on. So I think Liv deals with that with Major. I think she doesn't think that his approach is the right approach, or that Fillmore Graves is, and really struggles to respect him in that time, and kind of has to assume a healthy distance in order to protect any friendship they may have in the future, or dynamic they may have.
What has been the most difficult brain they've given you to do in the 50-plus episodes that you've done so far?
I don't even remember half of them, honestly. I think the most unappealing one was the bigoted, racist brain, you know, Archie Bunker style brain. I just didn't love coming to work and playing that every day, albeit like a clever way of serving a certain storyline. It wasn't as much of a joy as, for example, coming to work and playing an erotic literature writer. You know, that was fun. That was less fun. So that was challenging in that respect. I think they've also been, you know, like Hockey Goon Brain was challenging in a physical respect, because I had about 2 days. I had one official day to spend on the ice. In hockey skates for the first time, I hadn't picked up my figure skates since I was 14, but hockey skates ever, so it's completely different. And that was like a very challenging thing to try to seem proficient and knowledgeable about the mannerisms and the little bits and pieces. It was a new world for me, so that was challenging, but I had great support around me, and we had an amazing stunt team that were also involved in helping make that work.
Now that the truth is kind of out there, are we going to see Liv kind of reunited with family? Because they've been gone since season 1.
You know, I'd love that. You and me both. We have so many storylines that we're servicing in this show, and we have so many regulars with their own storylines that it hasn't made sense quite yet for that to be of like a focal sort of story point. But it's definitely hovering there. I hope that we come back to that soon. I'm fascinated by Liv's dad, who he is. So there was talk of trying to bring it in this season, but it's just been such a dense plot, and I think that the writers have just focused at the moment on what's going on in wider Seattle.
No, go ahead.
Since Liv's love life got quite complicated last year, especially towards the end, what's the story in that respect in season 4? I know Rob teased something at Comic-Con.
Yeah, she gets a new boyfriend at some point during the season, and his name is Levon, and I was very excited that it meant their ship name would be Liv On, which was clearly no accident, knowing our writers. And yeah, he's completely different to boyfriends we've met in person in the past. I fear for his safety, as I do for all Liv's love interests, but it's different and it's new, and he's a documentary filmmaker, so that's kind of, it's just a version of the person that Liv's connected with that we haven't seen before, which is cool.
Is there a big bad this season, or is all the conflict come out of the environment and the politics?
There are sort of multiple big bads, and they're not really big bads as such. There's sort of nuanced shades of big bad and different kinds that antagonize different portions of the zombie population or of the human population. So we have certainly Angus, who is running a zombie church. He's pulled out of the well, and he decides that the words that he has heard from while he was in the well, which were actually from his son Wayne, were the words of God, and he's sort of lost his mind a little bit and sort of begins running this church that is very zealous and pro-zombie and anti-human. And we see Fillmore Graves and their approach, which certainly antagonizes many people, Liv included quite often. And then we have Blaine, who is continuously sort of this big bad that, you know, for many reasons Liv has to keep at bay and without too much conflict, because they have a lot of common friends and common enemies, and it's a very challenging position for her to be in. I think she still struggles with that, because she clearly hates him and everything that he's done to her and the people she loves. But he also can help her. He has friends in high places, and she kind of has to dance between those two things quite a lot.
This season seems to be much more serious in nature. and the show in general up to this point has had a lot of humor. So is there going to be a balance of that, or is this season going to be much more serious?
Weirdly, I think it's funnier than our seasons prior. I really do. I think that they've kind of just heightened that contrast quite a lot. There's strong drama and there's strong comedy, and it's like I believe we have to, is in the times of the most conflict and grave situations, you have to have a sense of humour about things, because how else do you get through? So we feel that in the show this season. You can look forward to Major on wrestling brain and Liv on romantic comedy brain at the same time. So there's plenty of humour that finds its way through this, and I think it's like some of the funniest writing that I've experienced on the show.
There's a big cliffhanger with Robbie at the end of last season. I know you can't really talk too much about it, but can you tease a little bit about Liv's reaction to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a surprise. There's a lot of surprise in how things come about. It's unlike what we've seen before. It allows for more humour, and certainly their dynamic is not compromised, and Robbie is as enthusiastic as ever to create a cure. I mean, it's really worth watching how that unfolds. I think it would be doing a disservice to the show to tease too much, because it really pans out in a way that I think will surprise and intrigue people.